RGT85 is a complete joke, and if you watch this guy, you are objectively retarded, and you should probably go back to kindergarten and maybe get an education. The public school system is completely junk. It's garbage. It ruins kids. But maybe if you showed up and actually interacted with other people, you might learn something. You know, you might be able to pick up a book and learn how to read, or at the very least, learn your basic letters, because I can't imagine that anyone who is literate could ever stand to watch this guy. You know, it's like, it's bad. How it's crazy how RGT85 is now like the absolute worst person on YouTube. I can't think of anyone else who comes out every day like trying to tell us that like this thing Nintendo did, it sure is bad, huh guys? Like usually it's not really worth talking about, but like there have been a handful of times where like I've seen this guy's like videos and like his thumbnails and like what he's talking about, and I kind of feel the need to address it. And now's a really good time to do it because I have not talked enough about how much I love Pokopia. Okay, like Pokemon Legends EA was fantastic. I really really enjoyed it. RGT85 was one of those guys who came out and said like, well, actually, the windows aren't high resolution enough. Like it was just unbelievably cringe, and I kind of laughed at it and wrote it off. And now he's trying to do the same thing with Pokopia, and I haven't talked about this a lot on the channel, but like Pokopia is actually at this moment like one of my most anticipated Switch games, Switch 2 games, because like I love Pokemon, I love Dragon Quest Builders. The game looks great, and yet this dipshit is coming out like trying to like say that it doesn't look impressive and that he doesn't want to buy it, and it's just like, yeah, you don't know anything about this game, this developer. Like I would not be surprised if this doesn't turn out to be like the best game on the console, honestly. Like if you haven't played Dragon Quest Builders, definitely do it. It's Kino. But again, this is just disgusting behavior from the YouTube community, because like RGT85 isn't the only person I've seen say this, but uh it definitely needs to be said more that the Pokopia hate is just embarrassing and is going to fall apart over time. So
No, maybe it was just foolish on my part. Maybe it was silly for me to feel this way, but I honestly felt like progress was being made. You know, a line was finally being drawn in the sand. People said, you know what? Enough is enough. And I kind of was hoping for this with Pokemon Legends ZA, but you know what? I understand it.
yeah, what a giant hope. Okay, so to give you a bit of a brief lore breakdown, people have been complaining about Pokemon games since forever. You know, when the games came to Switch, it got the Pokemon hate became mainstream because of this idea that like, oh no, they're on consoles now, so they need to do this, this, and this, and in reality, they didn't. And so, like, people like RGT85 are seething constantly about the brand, about how it's so successful and so popular despite not doing obvious things that other developers are doing, completely missing the fact that like Pokemon's actually quite a lot better than all of those other things. It's kind of ridiculous. I put like 48 hours into Pokemon Legends EA, which is significantly more than I think most AAA products and most games that like these kind of people hype up. It is shocking how good Pokemon actually is and how these people still like freak out about it. Like, well, the visual quality isn't like it looks better than your favorite game, but like the graphics, like nobody cares. But the not having voice acting, no one cares. Like we have seen the same people complaining about the voice acting in Metroid Prime 4 turn around and complain about Pokemon not having voice acting. You know, it's just like it's just such a hilarious double standard. Like the simple fact of the matter is, not every game has to be the exact same. You know, that's kind of my mindset looking at this, is that these people genuinely think that Pokemon should try to be a typical AAA brand when it's not. Like it's just unbelievably cringe.
Understand it. You really liked Pokemon Legends Arceus, however you say it. You thought that gameplay loop was fun. Hell, I thought that gameplay loop was fun. It's the new Nintendo Switch 2 game. You're looking for something
It's not it's not even a Switch 2 game. Like it also released on Switch 1, which is something that a lot of these people don't want to address at all, but
to play on the Switch 2. I might not agree with your decision making, but I understand your decision making. I understand why you were wanting to purchase this game, but I honestly felt like the line was finally being drawn in the sand. And people said, hey, you know what? Enough is enough. Enough is enough. But all it took was one thing, one image to completely transform the conversation. And now, once again, they're going to get away with it. Nintendo and the Pokemon Company are going to get away with yet another robbery. What was that?
a robbery? Like what is this retard talking about? A robbery? They sold you a video game. One that has a ton of content, a lot of fun to play. Like what is wrong with this?
It was this little rabbit Pikachu looking some bitch, little floppy ear. That's all it took to completely change the narrative around this game, to the point of where Nintendo and the Pokemon Company are going to be laughing all the way to the bank with your $70.
Yeah, so initially a lot of these people really thought that like Pokopia was going to be this disaster and that nobody would care for it and that like it would be this disappointing thing and like the reality is like if you actually play these kind of games, if you know a lot about Pokemon, this is like a super hype thing. And people like RGT85 can't handle it cuz he really thought he'd be able to grift off of the Pokemon hate thing forever. And yeah, it feels like as of Legends ZA, it's completely dead in the water. Like fans are at the point where they're like really pushing back against this nonsense, and they're like calling out these guys and what they're saying, and it's really satisfying to watch. He is freaking out that Pokemon Legends ZA was well received. You know, he is freaking out that this Pokemon Scarlet and Violet were well received, and he's freaking out about this. Like 3 huge hits in a row and he's still trying to do this grift like Pokemon's on the way out, guys. I thought we were drawing a line in the sand. Like, no, you're not a Pokemon fan. You don't buy these games. You don't know anything about them, and you don't know why people play them. And as a result of that, I can't take anything you say seriously.
Mind you, for a game key card, a $70 game key card for a game that has no reason to be on a game key card from a company, Nintendo themselves, saying, well, we're not going to publish any game key card games. No, we're not. But they are, because they are publishing this game.
Nobody cares about the game key cards. I'm sick of hearing about it. Just buy digital.
And I know what you're saying to yourself. RGT, you know what? Why do you talk about Pokemon if you're tired of it? And it's because at one point in time, many, many moons ago, Pokemon Red, Pokemon Blue.
What a fucking retard. They always do this thing where they're just like, well, I was a big fan when Pokemon Red and Blue came out. Like, well, did you stick with it? Like, do you know anything about it? Like, they always like try to have to appeal to like try to pretend that they're old fags. Like, I played these games back when they first came out. Yeah, well, guess what, genius? So did I, and I stuck with them, and I have a more nuanced opinion than you do. You don't know what you're talking about.
Out were bestowed upon the North American audience. And I was there. I was there. Myself and Pecker Dupree. Pecker Dupree had Pokemon Blue. I had Pokemon Red. And fun was had. We would watch the cartoon because the
The anime.
theme song was really good. And it was a fun time. And as Pokemon went on, yes, not a lot changed with it. But it was primarily dedicated to handhelds. And then when the console stuff came along, like
Yep. The giant cope is that like, well, now that it's on console, it has to be different. No, you fucking retard. Like again, this is like a real problem we see in the gaming space. Is like, what's with this disrespect of handheld games? Like I talked about this before about how the Game Boy was a huge success, and yet like among like these kinds of weird console centric people, there's this like inability to acknowledge games like say Super Mario Land 2 or um the Legend of Zelda Oracle of Ages. Like a lot of Game Boy games feel like they're kind of obscure because of this mindset. Is that like, well, they're not as good as the console equivalents, so like they're not as good. Like, what are you talking about? There are plenty of great Game Boy games that far surpass anything on console. Like Pokemon's probably the defining example of that, but there are plenty of examples over time. Like Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon, the only handheld game, purely handheld game in the series is the best one. So
Pokemon Snap, they were fun little side adventures. And there was a lot of fun to be had there. But as time has gone on, it seems like the franchise never matured. Now
yeah,
there were some
never matured. Oh yeah, how dare this franchise never grow up? How dare it have this very specific vibe and personality? Like, oh, we should be using Pokemon to fight in wars. We should be like having sex with them in like these mini games. We should be like doing drugs with our Pokemon and snorting cocaine. Like, it's like, what the hell do you mean? You fucking retard. Like, oh, the games didn't grow up. Like, what are you talking about? Nobody wanted to see Pokemon grow up. That is so obviously insane. And I'm so sick of hearing it from these man children. Like, oh, why did Pokemon grow up? It's like, it's like with Alan Moore, when he talked about this with when Watchmen came out. Like well, not came out, but when he talks about it, it's like you have these people who bitch about comic books not being like mature and like sophisticated, and it's just like, bro, they're comic books. like like it's an immature medium. It's intended for little children who can barely read. Comic books are like the bottom of the barrel, like trash that with no cultural like impact whatsoever. They're not intelligent, they're not sophisticated. Trying to like change comic books to be something they're not is just embarrassing. It's not going to work. It's not going to make the product better. It's not going to make more people like take it seriously. Like, just do something else is kind of my mindset. And like when you see people do the same thing for Pokemon, you just kind of laugh at it. Like you just can't take it seriously. Like it's like, do you really want realistic cockfights in a mature, gritty setting? Like, come on.
very excellent entries for handhelds. But once Pokemon was moving to consoles, people got it in their mind that, all right, now we're going to finally see the evolution of this franchise. We're going to see what Game Freak can really do. And the Pokemon Company and Nintendo, all in conjunction with this franchise and what they could do to push the limits of what our imaginations could be. And Nintendo's been in the HD era since what? 2012 with the Wii U? And we're nearing 14 years later, and Game Freak still has not figured out how to make a game look like a somewhat modern game when it comes to Pokemon.
They actually look better than I think a lot of modern games. Like people just don't understand that there's more to a visual design than simply having high end graphics. Like it has an aesthetic, it has a vibe. It has a personality. That Pokemon Legends ZA looks better than I think any AAA game from PlayStation, Xbox, or PC. Like just because it does such a great job selling you on the world and characters.
And Namco figured that out. They figured that out with Pokemon, with new Pokemon Snap, Pokken Tournament. Fun games, fun diversions, and you're saying, well, RGT, it's just kids. It's just kids. Kids are the one that wants these games. That's inherently wrong. That's inherently wrong. First and foremost, yes, kids are kind of dumb. All right. When we're kids, we do dumb stuff. You know what I used to do when I was a kid? I'm not even gonna. I don't want to get into what I used to do as a kid because I'll end up out of context on Instagram. That has happened before with my booger wall story for Sonic Racing. I don't really remember how I got onto that. But kids do dumb stuff. They're learning the world, but there is a large amount of adults that are genuinely excited now because of our floppy-eared friend.
Yep, yep,
And now
yep.
the narrative around this game has completely
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So like, yeah, how dare yeah, so they introduced like a completely original form of Pikachu, alongside a number of other Pokemon, and like you're surprised that people are like intrigued by this, like that people are hyped for like what they're doing with Pokopia, about how it seems. I don't know if this has been confirmed or not, but the speculation is that it's like post-apocalyptic and like Pokemon are like rebuilding human society for themselves. Like you're really gonna sit there and say that's not interesting, that it doesn't look good, like that's just a complete cope. Like again, it's embarrassing.
changed. You look at the latest trailer over on the official Pokemon channel, this thing should be getting downvoted to all hell. Much like
Why? Why? Why should this get downvoted? Like this isn't even a Game Freak game, right? You're gonna sit there and like talk about like, well, Namkai Bando killed it with Pokemon Snap, new Pokemon Snap, and then you're gonna turn around and act surprised that a game being made by like Koei Tecmo, like with the Dragon Quest Builders team, like that's like, oh man, people like this? How dare you? How dare you like this? Like, what are you talking about? Like the reason Pokopia is being so well received is because it looks genuinely fantastic. And I don't understand like the YouTube grift mindset that this thing looks terrible. It's just embarrassing how much they've been pushing this narrative ever since it was unveiled. Like, oh, this isn't going to do as well as Pal Farm. And meanwhile, in reality, it's like killing it right now. Like, you're really going to downplay like
the game keycard one did. But is it? No. It's mostly positive over there. What has happened? Just 2 days ago, the internet was crying for blood from the Pokemon Company, a game key card.
yeah, this needs to be said more. Nobody cares what Twitter thinks. Like nobody cares. Like all of these major controversies we see in regards to like Nintendo games, like humans not belonging in Pikmin, Miles McKenzie, this like none of them have like none of them can endure the game's actual release. Like all you're seeing is hyperbolic bullshit from 40-year-old man children like Mr. Medicare who spurg out about this kind of thing instead of having sex and having kids. Okay. Like that is Twitter in general. Okay. RGT85 vastly overestimates the value of Twitter discourse. Like if the narrative is changing from day to day, it is not a consensus and is not indicative of overall trends.
$70. How dare you? How dare you? But then you have the Pokemon Defense Force come out. All your favorite Poketubers telling you, "Oh, it's okay. It's okay." You know,
I really do hate this douchebag. I really do. Oh man, how dare Pokemon YouTubers not be? How dare they be hyped for this new Pokemon game? What a
this
douchebag!
will be fun. This will be good. Look at how cute everything is. And these are grown adults as well. These are grown men.
Oh man, you're a grown adult, and you can't talk about Pokemon when you're a grown adult. You got to play Black Ops 6 and shoot giant plant monsters. That's so much mature than this.
Grown women, a lot of grown men with beards similar to mine. They're telling you everything is okay to the point of where
Yeah.
other people are like, yeah, you know what is okay. My negative feelings that I had initially are no longer valid because the little floppy-eared son bitch. And you know what this is?
He's not
This
even like talking about like the lore we know about Pikachu, right? He's not talking about like that about what we know about it. He's just like, oh, the design just looks slightly different. Like, do you not know anything about Pokemon?
is Stockholm syndrome. This is Stockholm syndrome. This is a psyop by the government.
Psyop.
And I don't know if it's the American government, the Japanese government. They may be working together on this. This could be there could be some collusion behind the scenes with this. But Pokopia is a psyop. Pokopia exists because they want to see how far they can really truly go with the $70 game. with the game key card, with
I
minimal.
love I love how they're I love how he's bitching about the $70 game when that's like the standard MSRP now. MSRP now. Like, really $70? I thought $80 was too much, but now you're saying 70 is also too much? Like, what? Pick a lane, bro.
Effort, with absolute minimal effort, because they know that the Pokemon fan base will buy it. There is no reason to believe that the Pokemon fan base is going to stop buying Pokemon stuff. And I think this is a perfect example of it. So they want to see how far they can really go with this Stockholm syndrome, how much they can really abuse their fan base. That makes them the biggest IP in the world, mind you. This should be having all of the bells and whistles. This should be Pokemon should be the standard for AAA gaming because of the amount of money that it makes.
Pokemon demonstrates what really matters when it comes to game dev is making like fun, engaging material that people actually enjoy without having to resort to ridiculous gimmicks to draw people in. Right? Like when you look at like the big AAA games, like they're entirely reliant on graphics and realism to like draw anybody in. But Pokemon is able to do more with like a lower budget. And if you've been paying attention, like the rest of the industry wants typical AAA developers to start doing the same thing. So
And the amount of money that should be being put into the video games, which are a huge component of Pokemon. Obviously, they have the
ten
cards,
percent.
the animes, the plushies, the movies, and stuff like that. But all of that is contingent on what the Pokemon games are doing. The Pokemon games are hot, then the other stuff is hot. The thing of it is we've never gotten to a point where it was a cooldown phase. And I think they know that. And I think they just want to beat it over your head. Hey, we're in control. We are in control. We are the Pokemon World Order, PWO, because they have that you buy the balls, and you might say, oh, I'm not gonna buy it, but then you see it, you see a good review online. It's not as bad as people are saying. I'm having fun with it, and I'm not sitting here saying you shouldn't have fun with these games. You can have fun with anything. All right, you can remember the cup and the ball thing, where you're like woo, and the ball goes into the cup. You can do whatever you want. I'm not here to diminish your fun. What I am here to do is I'm here to say that I feel like the amount of people that are having fun with this seems very odd to me. It seems very odd to me
He's seething so hard about Pokemon being popular. Oh, amazing.
that people are so accepting of mediocrity when it comes to Pokemon games. Because if this was any other company, if this was Xbox, PlayStation, no.
I mean, when they did this with Dragon Quest, it was super well received. So his entire argument just kind of falls flat. Like, what are you talking about? If it was any other company, like this is a very typical life sim thing, with Pokemon in it. There's nothing weird about it. It's pretty typical for the genre. Like, he doesn't know anything. Like,
Would not fly. If this was another Nintendo property, this would not fly. Imagine a Mario game or a Zelda game that looked like that. That has
I
never.
mean, like, I mean, I I grew up with New Super Mario Bros. Right? I grew up being screamed at about how it was like stale and derivative, and how like it was uninspired and boring. And yeah, that game was a huge, huge success. So no, like we see this kind of complaining about every Nintendo property, but we also see like huge numbers because this is actually popular.
Never pushed any sort of boundary for what Nintendo represents and what Nintendo can do. People would ask questions. People would be like, "What the hell is this?" But with Pokemon, you're just so used to it. You're preconditioned. You're more interested in our floppy eared little bastard than an actual quality game. It's a cult. It's a cult. The Pokemon cult. And there must be some sort of sacrifice that you have to do to get in it. Like I genuinely do not understand why anyone. I mean, I get it. Some people like cozy games and crap like that. That's fine. But why any like person is genuinely excited for this when it's a $70 game key card that looks very low effort, and the gameplay loop is something that exists and is probably done better with like Dragon Quest Builders 2 and 1. You know, games that actually look like they belong in this century. But
What?
it doesn't matter what I say.
What? Dragon Quest Builders 1 and 2 don't look that much. Yeah, they don't look any more demanding this. What is he talking about? What a fucking retard.
My opinion is completely invalid because everyone has drank the Kool-Aid. Pikachu and little floppy-eared, he's the Jim Jones of all of this. He's going to move you to a different country. But see, really, here's really what Pokopia is all about. Pokopia is a way. It's the gateway. So you're creating your own little Pokemon land. Because that's what the Pokemon Company is going to do. They're going to buy up a huge plot of land in some country, and then you will have access to move there. They will move you in there, and you will become property of Pokemon Company, and you will build this land for them because now you have the tools necessary because you played Pokopia. You will be part of the PWO, the Pokemon World Order, which will then start to expand and expand and expand because now the base is getting bigger.
What?
There's more people moving into the compound. We've got to expand. We've got more money coming in now. We could buy up more land. And then next thing you know, you're going to wake up. You're going to open up your window. And everything's going to be Pokemon. Nintendo and Pokemon Company, they're getting away with it again.
What?
Getting away with it again.
What the hell was this? Like, that's the end of the video. Like, there was no point to it. There was no insight. There was no, like, hot take. It's just him bitching about Nintendo and the Pokemon Company being popular. Like, how out of touch are you, man? Like, it's like you didn't make a single valid point. It's just like, oh, I don't understand why this is so popular. Like, hey, genius, do you know how popular Pokemon is? Do you know how well received Dragon Quest Builders was? Like, do you understand that this is something new and exciting for fans? You know, like, this is one of my most anticipated Switch 2 games of next year, right? I feel very, very strongly about this. And to see, like, this kind of, like, YouTuber release these kind of, like, ridiculous statements trying to downplay it, it's embarrassing. It's cringe. And I hope that more people start calling it out in the future. It's definitely something that I don't want to hear again going forward.